Yes, people. Welcome. Welcome to Tribe Talk Live episode 6. It's going quite fast. We've done 6 episodes already. Welcome. Today we have Jade, one of the best sports therapists in the game, as already mentioned. But before we get going, the talk I did last week with Ola, aka Mr. Fitspiration, will be on YouTube tonight. So I'll make sure to put the link in my description for the full talk. But other than that, let's get started.
Bless.
Hello.
Greeting.
Hello. How you doing?
Very well. All things considered, I'm all right. Can't complain. Can't complain. How are you?
I don't even know how long it's been since the last time I saw you. Too long,
man. I think the last few times I've seen you has been via devices.
Probably, yeah.
Life in it.
Mad.
That's how it goes.
But the thing is as well, like we almost because obviously I train my group down at TBH now.
Yeah.
Well, every Wednesday anyway. So
yeah,
it's almost like we're crossing paths, but not at the right time.
It's like we call it ships passing in the night. Ships passing in the night.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll say to you, Steph, as I say to everyone that knows me and that I love, as much as I might not see you, the love don't change, The love doesn't.
Of course.
You get me?
So, those are the best. Those relationships are the best relationships because it's real.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Like when I see you next year, it's gonna be like I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
Those types of relationships, that you have to nourish those. You have to make sure you look after them people there.
Yeah. I agree.
Cool. But yeah, we only got an hour.
All right.
Max anyway. Let's go into who is Jade?
Who's Jade?
Who's Jade? How did you end up where you are now?
It's a journey. It's a journey. I think my life story would be a bestseller if I was to put it all down. Anyway, I think everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got a story.
We'll sit down properly, because what I'm doing here is just like raw conversations with people of influence, and people that I respect to the highest regard.
Yeah.
But I'm only doing these lives, raw talks, because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But after, hopefully these will lead into like pre-recorded, proper, official, like one-to-one interviews. So we'll catch up properly at one time. But for the benefit of the doubt, continue.
So Jade, my name's Jade Smith Brown. I'm a sports therapist. I have been for 10 years now, Steph. Just over 10 years now. And there's a lot more to me, but that's mostly what I do. I'm a sports therapist by trade anyway. And then I also have a line of cosmetics, skincare, hair care product, natural,
I've been seeing that.
Yeah. So that's coming through slowly but surely. We're just taking our baby steps forward. But so I'm making my line is called Almost Edible as well. So you'll catch that in stage. But in the sports therapy game, it's been a while now. And it's funny because it's 10 years, but it feels like no time, really,
Of course.
Yeah, I've been having fun then, innit? So this is what I do. I've worked with numerous groups. Mostly track and field is where I began in my trade. And so we ventured out into different sports from there, but it's still the main nucleus of my clientele are in track and field.
Why do you think that is? Is obviously, why do you think that is? Is it because the sport values that treatment most?
I think, well, first and foremost, it's where I started, right? So I did
Mm-hmm.
part of my placement at Lee Valley, which at that time
Okay, yeah.
the home of UK athletics. So I started with a group
Still pretty much it.
with Lloyd and Lloyd Cowan and Clarence Callender's group there, and that was while I was on placement and did well for myself. Obviously, worked hard, and
Yeah.
people liked the work that I did, and trade kind of picked up from there. Really, I didn't have to work hard to then when I got my qualification and whatnot to find work because of
Mm-hmm.
hard and how well I worked during my placement. Really, so hard work does pay off, folks.
Of course. Yeah. In the end, however long it takes, anyway.
Well, this is
You know.
the thing, and it always thing is hard work always pays off, Steph. Always. It's just sometimes people lose the faith. You lose
Yeah.
the faith so cause sometimes you don't see the gain straight away. But you know, if you keep working, then you will see the gains, or then you will see the fruits of your labor. But if you give up too soon, you know, and you lose the faith, then you know you might not see what could have been right around the corner. So,
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on everything going on right now? In a nutshell, because yeah, there's a lot. You know, let's go with Corona, obviously, and obviously BLM and everything going on.
well, with Corona, you, you see, you have to be careful with how you address things because I don't want to be, what's the word, irresponsible with what I say because people can take it in different ways. However, there are some correlations between coronavirus symptoms and 5G virus symptoms. I don't know how much or how less that they are mutually
linked.
exclusive, because I don't believe that they're mutually exclusive. I think they're linked, if not one of the same. I believe. I'm not saying that it is. I don't have the proof. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
I'm in the lab. However, it doesn't look great, right? What I would say is, facts are, people are dying. People are dying. A lot of people have died. Now, my thoughts on it are we have to be very careful in terms of how we conduct ourselves now and in the future going on from here, because even if it is not a virus and it is coming from like 5G and whatnot, that means they're not going to no one's going to stop the progress that's being made in that realm, in like the quantum realm or whatever. So we have to get ourselves strong, really. I feel like whether it's Corona or 5G, everyone's going to get exposed to it. And the question is, how well is your body prepared to handle the barrage? Do you know what I mean? The onslaught. So I believe that you have to take ownership as to looking after yourself, one. Getting yourself healthy from the inside out. Do you know what I mean? Exercise, whether that be, eat well, get yourself strong. Vitamin D. I've been telling my family for so long. Yeah, vitamin D.
Especially in this country.
Of course.
Or in general, people that just don't get outside enough.
Well, the population is going that way, everyone anyway, because so much of the kids don't run around anymore. They're on the device inside, right? For different reasons. And then when it comes to black people, black people, brown people, everywhere, like you have a certain amount of need for the sunshine, because that's what your body's doing. So of course, if we're here, born and raised here, or have been here for a long time, we're not going to have the natural amount that we're designed to have. We're not going to have sunlight as what we're designed to have. So, so vitamin D supplements are essential. It's essential. And we're finding now that the report came out of Parliament this week about the correlation between the deaths death rate and vitamin D deficiency or insufficiency, which is so, you know, the facts are there. Now, it doesn't surprise me that they didn't let people know how to help themselves before now. They tell you what to be scared of, but not necessarily how to help or strengthen yourself, right? This is my issue with it all. So what it is they've done a load of scaremongering, and then, you know, and then leave you in the wilderness. Say, all right, stay away from everyone, 2 meters, you know, cover your face, which is, you know, fair enough. But then, you know, you're losing a little bit of the that human connection, because people not only is your face hidden, but some people won't even look you in the eye again, and it's like, you know, we're human beings. We need that interaction. You know, it's essential to our being. So that's my kind of thoughts. It wasn't in a nutshell, but that's my thoughts on Corona. Everyone, Corona, get yourself strong, please. Get yourself strong.
That's great advice, to be honest. That is great advice. And it's not pushed enough at all.
Not at all. But you know, then
until there's a vaccine to buy into, you know, then until there's money to be made, then, you know.
Did you just mention the vaccine?
Self-care is a vaccine. Anyway, let's move on.
And then, of course,
let's move on.
I need to say something about Black Lives Matter. I need to say something.
Go ahead. Even if it takes a whole hour, do your thing.
Listen, people, we're coming together. It's a beautiful thing, you know. It's love for all, you know. No one's ever disputed that, right? But it's so important that, one, the world starts to understand, say, the plight. It sounds very dramatic to say the plight, but it's been a plight because it's, you know, it's difficult, and it's been difficult, and that's me as a Black woman to say that. It's so much more difficult for the Black men out there. Do you know what I mean? And then just us Black people as Black people, you know, people of different nationalities and colours and whatnot. It can be difficult when you are in the when you are a minority, let's say. Do you see what I mean? And you know, it's a beautiful thing what's happening now. You know, I try and keep it brief. But you know, we've got to say, first and foremost, Black Lives Matter. You know, firstly,
100%,
right? But
100%.
in that, I did a protest. I did a silence on the week of the death of George Floyd, right? I sat on the wall outside of my house, and I sat and I thought, I was thinking about what he went through in those 8 or so minutes, right? And I cried, you know. I cried because you just feel, I mean, the suffering. Everyone
to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you visualizing, you're sitting there visualizing that happening to yourself, basically.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
This is a wicked thing, but you know, but I cried also because it's like I acknowledged in that moment that suffering cannot be for it can't be for nothing. Do you see what I mean? And what I've seen since has just filled my heart with so much joy, right? Joy, because we've seen people coming together, right? I see a picture. I seen a pic, and that's Black people, white people, you know, Asian people all coming together to say enough is enough, first and foremost. I saw a picture last night of America, some place in America, I'm not even sure of the city, where Bloods, Crips, right,
Or the gangs.
gangs that we synonymous with the names of them. But, you know, rivaling gangs, which usually will be at loggerheads with each other and want to kill together. In terms of togetherness, because there's a bigger cause than us and them. We've got to be together on this thing. And
I mean, it's funny because like the original ideal behind Crips and Bloods and everything was to look after your community.
Yeah.
And it just seems like obviously through the ages it's gone the other way.
Yeah.
So it's nice that something that's seen as negative now can be, you know, it's been proven that, you know, people can come together regardless of their differences and can actually, you know, stand for what was originally the cause.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. It's a beautiful thing.
So yeah, because that's ultimately the roots of why those tribes of people were set up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
To look after the community. And it just went sideways, I guess.
Yeah, we get, you know, egos get involved, and, you know,
that's it.
Envy, and, you know, unfortunately, we're human beings, so we have our flaws. And sometimes
animals.
Yeah.
We're animals.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's it. You know?
That's yeah. We have this, you know, we have this self reflection and whatnot that we're blessed with, but we are animals at the end of the day. So again, no. Now it's beautiful what I'm seeing, because I know people tearing down statues and whatnot. I get it. Do you know what I mean? But tearing down the statues doesn't make the change. It might change what's in your eye line. Do you see what I mean? But it doesn't make the changes. You know, we need to see the statutes changed, you know, laws and statutes and you know, things that put people's lives at risk. Like one of the things that made me so happy was when they banned some of the chokeholds and whatnot that the police are allowed. And
that's real solutions.
I mean,
there, you know.
You see, but before now, I mean, people have marched and whatnot for different things, right? And it always has an effect, but nothing's been like this. Nothing's been like this. Maybe, arguably, that is because of people having so much time for reflection during this corona. Because remember, it's just come right off the back of the corona.
That's it.
That time to really reflect and reassess what they value most. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And your liberty, your civil liberty, is one of them that I think everyone is really appreciating, or showing appreciation to now. Do you see what I mean? Having it infringed upon, being stuck in your home, you can't talk to anyone and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I think I do think that the whole world is kind of waking up and coming together now as a result of everyone being under the caution to a certain extent.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So
I think Corona has had it's almost a blessing in disguise. Regardless of, you know, obviously it's a sad thing that people are losing their lives, but for the majority, people have had to kind of almost look inwards, and there's time. They have the most valuable thing in the world, which is time to reflect. And if I said if there is one thing positive about Corona, is that everything's getting exposed. And people are seeing the truth of a lot of things in the world. And I just hope that people can kind of like reflect on their own life and make better decisions moving forward. You know, but yeah, let's let's move on because I know we got a lot. We can say
so much.
we can say it for 10 hours.
Come on, I could
What
talk.
what have you been? What it's obviously been hard for everyone, but what as a sports therapist, what have you been doing to overcome Corona?
You know,
Obviously, being someone their job is to actually physically touch people.
I mean, to overcome, it's I can't. First of all, I can't say that I've overcome. What I've been doing, let me tell you what I've been doing in my time in terms of that.
Okay.
I've been limited in what I can do in my, my primary field of work, right? Because obviously it's a very close proximity, hands-on field of work, right? So I haven't been able to work actually in that time with my hands like that. So I've more been focusing on the almost edible stuff and thinking about that type of another new stream. And it's funny because this kind of started way before Corona actually. In terms of having to think of a different revenue stream because I had an injury. I thought I was superhuman again, and did something I shouldn't have done. And then, as a result, I managed to injure my hand and in carpal tunnel syndrome. And a little bit of it was some peripheral nerve damage actually is what happened. From because I'm diabetic, by the way. So I attempted to do a total fast, not even a total fast. Yeah, it was a total fast as well. At first, it was just intermittent, as I do. Usually, for the month, every month, I'll have like a week or 5 days of intermittent fasting. But then I got 2 days in, and then I thought, I haven't actually drunk any water today, and I hadn't eaten yet. So I thought, let's just carry on. So I did like a dry fast for the next, I think 2 days. It was about 36 hours or something, and which was naughty, really naughty, because it's not like I'd super hydrated beforehand, which then just put me in a real disadvantage because with my diabetes as well. They'd always advise you never to do that anyway. So, and then I had a lot of work. I was working very hard in those days and the day after I'd finished that dry fast. I went back to the intermittent fasting, and I had loads of house calls, and then I was up in Harrow, down in Crystal Palace, and then on the weekend, on the Saturday, I was with the NFL guys over at Wembley, treating those guys. And of course, it was a lot of work. It's a lot. And that's big hard bodies to work on. So that was the Saturday. It was a wonderful Saturday. I'll never forget it because it was when England beat New Zealand in the World Cup in the rugby.
Lovely. That was amazing, that match.
It was an amazing day, but then that Sunday night is when the problem started with my hand, and it was like, And I tell you, I've had pain before, but I never had pain like that. It is evil. So anyway,
did you get it during treatment, or was it just random?
Just anyway, but I did try to work through it, as I always do. I always try to keep working because I need to, and it's not necessarily about making money. It's people need help, and that's what my job is to help people. So I don't want to let people down. So I tried to continue. That was a mistake. So so then I ended up having to take it was about 3 weeks off. That's when I realized I need a different revenue stream, just in case just in case this is something that I don't get past or it doesn't get better. But now I'm here. But yeah, that's where we started. I mean, I've been making my own products for myself and for my family for a long time. But then it's like, well, everyone loves it, so why not actually serve more people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so that's what I'm in the process of doing now. And that's so during this Corona time, one, I started to look at that a bit more, but also my health. Just started to get my health under control. Because when it comes to the diabetes, I've always been, it's always been difficult to shackle and get under control, for one reason or another, right? And over this time period, I must say, now I can say 100% as well that my health is the best it's ever been, and my control is the best it's ever been, and that is massive for me, massive, because this is 33 years in, 33 years.
It should be a priority regardless,
It should be, but
life happens. Life happens. Yeah.
It really does. Now it's like there's no going back. I feel good, it's great. It's great. And what it's not just feeling good now, it's about improving that life expectancy and that life quality. Whoever knows how long. Look, I could get lit down by a car as I step outside now, right? But saving that, I'm good to go for. And I believe, and I hope, God willing, that we'll see many, many more happy days.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously everything is like starting to ease off slowly but surely. What's the plan? What's the plans for the future?
Well, as I've alluded to already, I'm trying to, or I will be, setting up officially my almost edible range. And what I want to do with that is, obviously I start with the general skincare, hair care, but what I want to do with that is to make a sports range as well. And that's my
cool.
So I'll make some healing, some like recovery balms, promote healing and whatnot, to make like massage oils. I always mix my own massage oils anyway, since I started. So my clients generally tend to like the scents and the aromas that we come with, because it's always aromatherapy based, in terms of the mood that we're trying to achieve, the response of the tissue that we're trying to achieve, and then the scents that we use in together, basically. How we
so you're like, obviously it's for the scents are mainly, they have a purpose, basically. They don't just it promotes relaxation.
Indeed.
So you can get into their muscles nice and deep like you do.
Exactly. So that's my plan.
That seems like the main focus, side hustle, but you're looking to maybe over that to almost be in line with what you're doing. It's relevant anyway, 100%.
Because you did.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the because I've spoken about that side, but in terms of with the treatment, what I want to do eventually is to incorporate everything together. So to have a site where, because right now, in terms of my sports therapy, I'm mobile. I'm still mobile. So I'll go to different sports centers or gyms and whatnot, people's homes, and treat. I work with different groups. Linford Christie's group, I'm still with Jeffrey Lowell Bolligan's group down at Crystal Palace. Still down at Crystal Palace Weightlifting Centre. Work with a lot of guys down there. Still at Genesis Gym, still there. And then lots of different places, in between. So I'm mobile, but the big picture is to have a site where I can incorporate everything. So not only to treat, and people come for healing in terms of the touch and hands treatment, but also you can come and buy products. You know, you can come products in terms of healing, in terms of, you know, skincare, hair care, whatnot, and also like healthy foods, you know, as well. Possibly, not possibly, most likely, because, you know, there's so many ways to heal, and that's what we're
definitely. That's good to hear, though. It's really impressive. It's just wholesome, you know. It's true. It's there's a realness about that, rather than just, you know, selling random products that are trending or whatever. It's true to you, true to your life, true to your experience, and, you know, true to health in general, you know. So
holistic, natural.
Exactly. Natural. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, Jade.
Yes, go on.
I have, I think 9 solid questions here from people. Nice, quick, short and sharp and sweet questions for you.
Okay.
Some are relevant. Some are relevant to like obviously sports therapy and everything, and just some are just general questions. Just people are interested to know about you, really.
Okay.
So yeah, question 1. What made you want to become a sports therapist?
Well, firstly, I've been very much into sports from school age. I grew up playing football, a lot of football. I was very, very good, actually. I played for Wolves. Throughout the years, the youth teams, and then got into the reserves. Didn't make it to the first team because I stopped playing, didn't I? But yeah. What I wanted to do is stay involved with sports and close to sports, but be able to help people. So kind of getting the sports therapy kind of, you know, it ticks both the boxes where, you know, I can do both.
Relevant.
Overlap, yeah. You know, I studied sports rehab. I studied at uni, sports rehab and injury prevention, and then, you know, there's many different avenues you can go off that. So this is how I got down here. Yeah, so that's why, you know. And I was very much into lots of different sports growing up. Football was the main thing, but I was great at hockey. Was all right at badminton as well. But yeah, love sports. You know, and I feel like if you're gonna make money, just actually help people in the process. And then, you know, then you can make your money righteously.
That's it. But I mean that in any profession, well, not any, but in our profession anyway, the main focus should be to, you know, help people. And the money comes with it if you do a great job.
That's it.
The focus should just be a great job.
100%. 100. It's funny because I've never thought about at the start of the day when you look at, you know, your list of who you got to see or where you got to go or whatever, and thought about, oh, how much am I going to make? You just think about how many people you're going to help today. Do you see what I mean? And that's how it works. Yeah. And then at the end of the month or at the end of the week or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever's there is there, but, you know, there's a satisfaction that comes from knowing that you can make positive changes in people, especially sports people, where you know what it's like, you know, having been a sportsman yourself, when you are restricted or become unable to do what you know your body can do or should be able to do. And then you get some treatment and then you feel liberated again and energized to function the way that it was intended. There's nothing like it. For me personally, have huge job,
Yeah.
huge. So it makes working a pleasure, actually.
Yeah, definitely, because it doesn't feel like work.
No.
You know. But obviously you treat, you know, many elite athletes in the general public and everything else. What's your, you might have covered it a little bit, but what's your favorite or most enjoyable part of the job?
When I think the most other than deep conversations, when I'm treating, because I like to get deep, you know me, so
Yeah.
I like to get deep with it, right? So other than that, it's mostly about when someone comes up the table and says, "Oh my gosh," or "Oh my God, I feel like 10 times better." That is,
And you know you done your job properly. Yeah.
that's Jules for me. That's Jules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So an interesting one. What's the difference between physio, osteopath, chiropractor? Because there's,
Right.
you know, as obviously even athletes actually, like they get injured for the first time maybe, and you know, they're thinking, who should I see? You know, this person's an osteopath, but what is that? I don't know who to see. You know, so what's the difference between, you know, those three?
I was breaking this down yesterday actually.
Yeah.
All right. So a chiropractor will can treat many different ailments, right? They mostly look at your alignment, and correct from there, right? So that might be the alignment of your spine and or the function of your joints, right? Both.
So that's like all the adjustments you see where people getting their neck cracked and all that sort of stuff.
Manipulations, all of that. And from there, and that's a holistic thing as well, because from there, you know, they can affect what's happening in your nerves and whatnot, through the field, like down to your feet, to the top of your head, whatnot, right? So they're quite holistic as well. So an osteopath is also holistic, but an osteopath also looks at, yes, the whole body and will do manipulations, maybe not as in depth as, say, a chiro might do. Although, depending on what level of training they're at, you know, they might well be as well equipped as a chiro. But with the osteopath, the osteo might do a bit more soft tissue as well, might do a bit more massage, might do a little bit like more stretching. But again, it is a holistic. And then with the physio is more, it's similar to an osteo, but it's less holistic. It's more targeted. So rather than say looking at the whole body and how it's functioning, the physio can do that, but will mostly, if you go to the physio with the hamstring problem, the physio is going to treat the hamstring problem, right?
Yeah.
Also maybe what's causing the hamstring problem, as opposed to, say, the osteo, which might link so many more different things and everything. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
The best way that I can, and also a physio, often they're not always as hands-on. They might do more like prescriptive exercise, maybe some hands-on, maybe say 60% hands-on sometimes, and then prescribe corrective exercise and whatnot, where the osteo is going to be more like 90% hands-on. I think that's sort of kind of separates them, sort of. But you know, that's not my field of expertise, chiro, osteo. I'm close to a physio. It's very similar, but you know, you might
But
have.
how would someone with like without that knowledge there, how would they like differentiate? So if they have an injury and they go, okay, I don't know who to see.
Okay.
You know, where could they go?
So,
you know, to.
I would say if you have an injury for the first time, go to the physio first. Go to a physio first, or an osteo if you know a good one. If a physio is a good physio, right? What they'll do is assess you, and if necessary, if they need to refer you on, or if you need to, you know, if what you need is beyond their field of expertise, or the job's bigger than them, then they should move in the right direction, so on and so forth, you know, as a chiro. That's right, because a chiro might do the same. A chiro might give you treatment and then say, all right, don't do anything for the next few days or whatnot, but maybe in a week's time you might need to go and get some massage or some soft tissue. Do you see what I mean? And all of the therapies can complement each other, you know, if utilized at the right time. Do you see what I mean? I think that
cool. That is I think helped a lot of people with that, you know. I know I've been there. I've definitely been there, especially with my injury in terms of my back. Yeah, I had to go get an MRI because everyone I did see just, you know, couldn't really diagnose the problem. But yeah, it turns out that there's loads of little things from the MRI scan, but ultimately it's a bulging disc. It's not a herniated disc, but it's a bulging one. So I've been working on, because you can actually do exercises to push the actual disc back into place. And I'm in a lot. I'm pretty much pain free. Like I'd say 95% of the time now. So I can manage it really well. But yeah, I think Let's move on. Let's move on anyway, because we've got probably about less than 20 minutes. How is this is an interesting one. How has your industry evolved since you started? Because I'm seeing a lot of products being promoted now, like the guns, the massage guns, like the vibrating rollers and the balls and all of that sort of stuff. Like how has it evolved since you started, and what's your opinion on it?
I like them.
That's ultimately that's you know, it's competition at the same time as well, because people will say, like, you know, you don't need people, you like, you know, just use our products and you'll be good. That's
they say that, you know, they say that, but first and foremost, yes, there have been many advancements and, you know, tools that you can utilize now. I like them because what it does is they also give the athlete, let's say, or my clients, more ownership of looking after themselves, right? And it is actually essential, because I mean, you can come and see me every day if you want to. That's up to you, you know. It's your money to spend, but there is homework that you have to do, you know. If you don't, if you fail to do so, there's only so much progress you're going to be able to make. So when you've got these kind of tools at your disposal, it puts more of that onus onto the athlete, where, I mean, it was always there anyway, the onus in terms of, I'll always say, you know, get yourself a foam roller, get yourself a lacrosse ball, and use them, you know. You got to get your mobilization right. But when you've got these things now, and people enjoy using them, because guess what? People don't enjoy using the foam roller. They don't enjoy it.
No way. Yeah.
When they've got these massage guns and whatnot, and these vibrating balls that they can roll on and whatnot, they they actually firstly enjoy it and then, you know, take responsibility for themselves and are happy to take responsibility for themselves because it's something that they enjoy. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like, personally, I like them. They don't take my place, so to speak.
Of course, yeah.
No, I don't see it like that, because at the end of the day, I want my athletes, my clients, to be the best that they can be. So guess what?
That's it.
You have to do things in your own time if you want to maintain what we've achieved in the sessions.
Yeah.
It has to be done.
Yeah.
So I really like these things. I'm seeing there's a lot more stuff now. But I like them. I like it. Yeah.
I think the relationship you have with the new is refreshing, in terms of, as long as the new products and the advancements are beneficial,
Yeah.
then you know, they can add to your service and your benefit.
Yeah.
You know, as well. But yeah, I personally don't think the hands-on approach can be replaced. But you know, if the homework and everything you say can be promoted, then you know, why not? It makes, you know, at the end of the day, it makes everyone's life easier.
Definitely, and also it's, in a way, for on the other side, from the athlete's point of view, it's liberating. Yeah. Where, you know, you don't have to rely on somebody else. So, you know,
yeah.
Where obviously you have to spend money in the first place to get the massage gun or your ball or whatever. But, you know, you don't have to think, oh, I have to make an appointment to see Jade. You know what I mean? Or so you can actually do something for yourself. At some stage, you're going to have to do it anyway, because that's always the way. That's always the way. But it's I like it. I think it's good. I think
there'll be less urgency to see you.
Yeah, and that's not, let's say, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for me personally, because if you're coming and we can actually make progress when I do see you, rather than us keep going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would please me. Do you see what I mean? So when I've got quite a few clients now that have asked me about it, and then have bought guns, massage guns and whatnot. I have got well. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah.
I like how you have to say no, not real guns. You know, massage guns.
Oh, sorry. Irresponsible.
You have to be very specific, not actual guns. Yeah.
Of course.
What's the most common injuries you see with athletes or the general public, and what would you prescribe to prevent them happening? So the most common injuries you see.
The most common. Yeah. The most common, probably hamstring strains. Probably hamstring strain. Sometimes calf strains. And should I say mostly. Oh, and then often is the case, like rotator cuff shoulder issues. So
things like places that is places they often get neglected.
Yeah, but often, well, what happens is often is there's imbalance, right?
Yeah.
Often the hips are way too tight, right? Or the hip flexors in particular are way too tight, and or the glutes as well, right? And the glutes are in. So often what we're finding is because the hip flexors are tight, and then pulling the pelvis into an unnatural position, and that sometimes is that the quads are too tight as well. Often you'll find that with the footballers, right? And then front of the pelvis down, because the quads or the hip flexors are tight, which then puts the hamstring under strain, and then leaves them susceptible to strains or and whatnot. And when we're asking them to work at very high velocity and whatnot. That's one thing. And then also the glutes being inactive, actually, a lot of the time. And it's often you'll find the two together. A lot of the time the glutes have either don't switch on or don't switch on in the first place, or for some reason have switched off. Like, so they might have been active before, but for some reason they've just stopped firing. And again, when it comes to the trunk extension and or your hip extension, the hamstrings end up doing the work that the glutes should be doing. So we get the glutes to start switching on and to do the work as it was intended. Do you know what I mean? Often those are two things that we address, or we try to address. And then when it comes to like other sports, that's mostly like track and field, to be fair, right? And then with footballers as well, similar. When it comes to like the weightlifters or like the powerlifters or even some of those crazy bodybuilders, it's the rotators, the shoulders, and again, it comes from, often it's coming from the pecs being too tight and not getting good stretch, not getting good range through the pec, right? And then the rotators, they get overworked and being in an unnatural position, and then we have to go in there and try and sort that out. And also not just the pec and also the lats. When the lats, they get tight, then they come and bring your shoulder into a unnatural position like that, and then everything's working from there and everything gets jacked up. So those are the 2-3 that I see most often, I'd say. And then sometimes with the calf, if your feet aren't working the way that they should be working, and you see a lot of people are flat-footed, and the intrinsic muscles in their feet don't work the way that they were intended, through whatever reason.
I mean, I think
it could be just natural.
I mean, a lot of people say that everything stems from the bottom of your feet. So, that's another conversation to be had anyway.
Jason, connection to transformer.
I think we literally got less than 10 minutes, so I'll try to get through. Get through these quick. What are some of the things you would advise someone looking to become a sports therapist? In a nutshell, obviously.
In a nutshell, you gotta want to help people. That needs to be primary. That needs to be your primary drive and goal. Help people. Help as much people as you can. That's it. Yeah. That's it. In terms of like your avenue, whatever you wanna, I mean, there's different avenues that you can take. You can go straight to uni. You can go and do courses and build up. But just want to
ultimately help.
Would that be your drive? Just want to help people, and you get there.
How important is sports therapy to an athlete's career / performance?
Well, it's essential, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's
from experience, definitely. But for someone that is, I don't know, going through life and thinking about it, or they're an athlete and they've had their first injury or something, or they feel they don't need to, or they, if you're slightly younger and you don't get injured as much, and you see people getting treatment and you say, I don't need to do that. Well, how important do you feel it is to the performance and ultimately the career of an athlete.
Yeah, I hear it a lot actually, because a lot of, until you get into good habits, a lot of people don't really get involved with it until they get injured. And then they see, okay, all right, I see how this is beneficial, not just to recover from the injury, but just to get the best out of your body. You know, it's like a car.
Definitely.
You get your car MOT and service. You know what I mean? You benefit from it. It's not just injury recovery; it's injury prevention. You know, it's essential. It's actually, if you want the best out of your body anyway, if you just in to be in it, then you know that's okay. That's okay as well. But if you want to perform optimally, you're gonna need help along the way, and this is what people like myself and the other therapies are good for. We will help.
I mean, I do, and I will continue to promote seeing someone regularly, whether the athletes need it or not, just to deal with the upkeep of their bodies. You know, as you said, it's prevention rather than waiting until the wheels fall off the car. You know. But last question. I think this is a good one as well. How could someone look after themselves to the best of their ability outside of treatment?
Okay. In a nutshell, hot baths.
Yeah.
Hot baths hot
baths. Why?
No.
Why hot baths?
Hot baths. Say hot bath. See, like at the end of the day, have a hot bath, and then
increase the blood flow to the areas.
The heat makes your tissues and your fascia more pliable, right? So hot bath, roll.
Is this an order, or is it an order?
In this order.
Okay.
Hot bath, and you can either have a hot bath or you can have like a what's it called?
Contrast?
Not contrast. Salt bath. You can have a salt bath, but lukewarm.
Okay.
You can have a salt bath. Okay. Make it lukewarm, not hot. But otherwise.
Why is that?
Why? Because I don't know what it is about the potential, the concentrate.
Does it kill the minerals in the salt, or?
It does. It is more effective at drawing out. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
The temperature, but I have found. I was advised, and I never believed it before, but it's true. It is true. It does work. If you're going to do the salt bath, especially Epsom salt, make it a lukewarm bath. But either hot bath or a salt bath, right? And then once you get out, you roll, and then you stretch.
And then you stretch. Okay.
That alone will help to keep you in good form. And then if after you've had really hard sessions, you might not like to hear it, but ice baths are really good. Keeping up. No, I know it's torturous, but the more
anything cold is a nightmare, to be honest.
The more you do it, the easier it is for you to handle it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, saving the torture of the ice bath, it's the hot or salt bath, rolling and stretching, and also I'm a big advocate of flossing. I love the flossing bands. I always try and get my athletes to utilize the flossing bands. In fact, personally, I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I believe I was the first person to bring the flossing band to the championship. I believe I was, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But just saying.
That's a statement, then. It's a big statement.
Works.
But if you know it's true, then it's true, you know.
It works.
But Jay, I'm seeing at the top of the screen we got 18, 17. So I'm gonna say thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate you. Obviously, you already know it's family. You already know it's love. But we'll do this again another time in more depth. Okay.
Look.